Yo guys, my name is Paradox, and today I'm here on Sergeant Zor's channel. We're actually going to be doing a post-for-post collab. So basically, I'm over on his channel, and he is over on mine. And today we're going to be sharing with you guys our top 10 fonts that we use most frequently on our designs. And hopefully you guys enjoy. And if you guys want to check out Sergeant Zor's top 10 fonts, you can go to the link in the description. And there you will find my channel and you can check that video out, or if you want to just check me out, you can also go there to do that as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get on into the fonts. Okay, so our first three fonts here are actually going to be paid fonts. Now there are ways to get these fonts for free. I'm not going to recommend you do that or even show you how to do that, but if you guys are tight for money and it's gonna be a stressful situation if you have to pay for fonts, there are ways to get them for free, and nevertheless, these fonts are really good, and I would recommend going and purchasing them if you're interested. So without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about our first font here, called the Avenir Next Family Fonts. Now this font is a really thick, super simplistic font, and I think it works really well for like big names or like big text items in a design. I've been using this for quite some time and it works super well. I've had it done in a lot of designs, and there's actually a lot of variations to this font. The one that I use most often is actually the heavy condensed italics. I think it just looks the best, and you can usually find some nice simple like light fonts to go with it that just match it really well. And this font, it just really stands out. And it's a really nice font, and I would recommend going and picking it up if you're interested in doing that. Moving on to the next font here is the Moire Family font. Now this one is another simplistic style. You're going to see that as a recurring theme in this top 10 fonts. I really like simplistic, like super easy, simple fonts that are just super easy to read. And I feel like a lot of designers, tend to showcase like super crazy, like fun fonts, but don't really show like the super simple ones as often. So you're gonna see a lot of these simple fonts, but this one, as you can see, is very, very simple. It looks super nice, and one of the things that's really cool about this, and you'll hear me talk about this a lot, is the bold and light variation. Now you're gonna see here that there's multiple variations for Moire. Right now I'm on the bold, but if we searched up more in my thing, there's extra bold, light, and even regular. So there's even more variations than what you're just seeing here, but having the light next to the bold is really, really cool, especially in designs where like multiple words are sort of jammed together. You can do this like bold and light variation to sort of indicate where a space would be. So if I didn't have this space in between here, it would still look perfectly fine because of that switch from the thickness of the actual letters. And I think it looks really cool, and especially for like designs that use multiple words that like all have to be really close together. This thing works perfectly, and it's a really good font, and I'd recommend picking it up. Okay, moving on to the next font, we are looking at the Eurostile Family font. Now this is the last page font. Again, another simplistic design. I really like these types of fonts. This one's a little bit different from the Moire family. It looks pretty similar in the bold features, but this one's a little weird in its variation. As you can see, this is the lightest font I could find of the actual font, and it's really not that light. It's sort of like a regular thickness font, and that's going to be very hard to pull off that technique I was talking about earlier of bold next to light. This, however, I believe this is black. Oh, no, this is bold. So the bold variation is actually very thick, and it looks really nice. I would recommend using this bold variation a lot. I think there's also italics versions and stuff if you want to look into that. But if you're looking at the Eurostile family, I would recommend getting the bold version over some of the other like lighter versions. But nevertheless, you can still pull off this bold next to the light effect. It's not going to be as good as with the Moire family, but it still works pretty well, and I think it's a nice font to add to your library. Okay, taking a step away from the simplistic fonts, we're going to be looking at a really fun, sort of crazy font. And this font is actually pretty popular, and I've seen it in a lot of designs. This is the Planet Kosmos font. Now, I haven't really used this font that much. I remember picking it up quite some time ago, and I used it in a few banners, you know, just like sort of here and there. But this thing is actually pretty cool. I really like how the letters just fit super well together. Like, it doesn't matter what you write, it's gonna look like a work of art when you're done with it because of just how these letters sort of fit together and the spacing between all of them. You can pull off some really cool effects with this thing as well. I would recommend checking out Sesso HQ's video on like text variation, I think it was called. He uses this font like really well in that video, and it works really well with color. It works really well with no color. It works well with all types of strokes and, you know, drop shadows and styles and things. So I would recommend picking this up and just messing around with it. Who knows? Maybe you can make something really cool looking, and, you know, I don't know. It's just a cool font, and I would recommend getting it. Alright, the next font that we're going to be looking at here is called the Freshman font. Now, I've looked at a lot of the athletic fonts in my time, and this one just seems to look the best. You sort of get this like sort of high school Leatherman jacket feel, and it just looks really nice. You can pull off some really cool effects with this. A lot of strokes work nice with this. This thing looks really good with color as well. And I've used this in actually quite a bit of my designs, and I think it's just a really standout font. It's pretty thick, so you can, you know, make some main title text objects and like use this as like the main text in a design, and it will work pretty well. It works really well in 3D as well because of the super simple geometric shape of it. But if you're looking for like an athletic sort of font, and you've been struggling to find some, this one works really well, and it is free, of course, so, you know, I would really recommend picking this one up. Alright, taking a step back into the simplistic style, we're looking at the Helvetica LT STD Family font. This one is actually really nice, and what's great about this font is it's actually pre-installed in most computers. This was actually already installed on my computer, like when I first got my computer. So this font is really good. And I feel like not many people use it that often, but it's a super nice, simplistic font that has tons of variations. It has black, bold, light, bold condensed, light condensed. You know, you can make some really cool effects with this thing. And as you can see here, having this variation is super nice when you want to do multi-word designs and things. So having this, you know, is really gonna set your designs off. I don't really think this could be like a main text object. I think this would work better for sort of smaller text, like specifications on a design. Like if you're making an advertisement for something, having like little specifications in the bottom could, you know, be written in this font, or maybe even just like Twitter handles or YouTube links on banners or something. This could work really well for, but it's not going to be the main font, but it still works well, and there's a lot of options that you can have with it. So I would recommend using this. As I said, it's probably installed on your computer right now, so that's pretty cool. Okay, the next font is a really cool font. A lot of people don't tend to use it, but I think it's a lot easier than some of the methods that you have to use out there, and this is called the AutoGraf font. As you can see, it creates these really like unique sort of looking autographs. Like typically when you think of like a signature in graphic design, you think graphics tablet, you know, like crazy stuff that you need to have and do to actually pull off a decent signature. This font makes it super simple, and it just looks really nice. Like there's tons of different ways that you can make your signature, and it looks so good. And I've been searching for like how to make a graphic just like this for a while, and I just couldn't get my handwriting to look anything like, you know, like one of those classic signatures on a baseball or something like that. Like I've been searching for something or how to make that with my own name for a while, and this thing just works so well. And if you're looking for a, you know, custom signature but don't really have the money to purchase one from somebody, or the skill set to actually make one in Illustrator, this font works perfectly well, and it's really good, so check it out. Okay, sort of stepping back into simplicity, we're looking at the Gotham Black font. This font I just recently started using, and I gotta say, it's a really nice font. It's super thick, like some of the other fonts I've been talking about. There's no variation in it, so you're not going to be able to pull off that, you know, sort of variation effect. but it is straight. It's not italics like some of the the Avenir Nexa font that I was talking about. That was nice and thick, but it was italicized. This thing is actually completely straight and you know, just super nice font. You can use this, you know, in very simplistic styles. You can have this with strokes on it. You can really do anything with this, and it will probably turn out well. It doesn't look as good in color as I wish it would. You know, keeping it black like the name says is probably a good idea. But nevertheless, it's a pretty good font, and it really stands out in some designs, and it can really make or break a design. And I would recommend using it if you are looking for a nice thick sort of big font to use as like your main text in designs. Okay, the next font that we have here is actually a family pack that is not free, but there is a free version, which is just the bold and the light version, and this is the Nexa family font. Now this is the free version here, so this is just the bold and the light, so you can get exactly what I have here for free, and that's what I use. Like, I don't purchase any of the other, you know, Nexa family, you know, styles. This thing is super nice. It goes back to that simplistic style, that light bold variation, and it's just perfect. I was actually introduced to this on my team, and they showed me this font, and I've actually fell in love with this font. I've been using it for most, if not all, of my subtext, like on all of my designs. It just works super well, and especially with that variation that you can get, you can use this in all types of designs. You know, the bold you can have as a main text item if you're not looking at any other thick, you know, sort of objects around. You can have this light as subtext as well. Like, you can really use this anywhere, and it just works super well, especially with other fonts. Like, I find using this Nexa family font with some fonts like Planet Kosmos or Freshman, it just works super nice, and it looks great. And I would really recommend getting this font. Like, if I tell you to get any of these fonts here, it's gonna be this one. Because it's just so nice, and it's a great font. Go get it. Okay, moving on to the last font that I have here. This is not a simplistic font, so don't worry. I know I put a lot of those on here, but this is called Plump, and the name pretty much says itself. It's just a really fun sort of bubbly font, and it looks really good with strokes and inner shadows, and you know, there's not really a lot that I can use this on as far as like designs that you would use this font. There are instances where I could find something, but this is going to be more fun, sort of light-hearted things that you're going to want to just, you know, have fun with. You know, sort of kid-oriented things like toy advertisements, or really anything like that. This thing is going to look really nice for you. You're not going to see this font on like Razor's advertisement or like Nike's advertisements. You're going to see it more on like kids' toys or like, you know, kids' television show programs. Like, this thing is really fun and you know, cool, and I personally like it a lot, but I don't really think it's for that, you know, like elegant design perspective. But if you can find a use for it, you know, go ahead and use it, and it could make your designs a lot better. That's been it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to check out any of these fonts, I'm going to try to leave links. I don't know if I can get all of these. Eventually I might get like a little Mediafire link for all the free ones and just put them all on one Mediafire download. And then, you know, if you want to check out the paid ones, I could maybe find a link. It's probably not going to be that hard, but yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like. Please go check out my channel as well, and check out Southern Zore's 10 font video on the on my channel. But if you guys enjoyed, leave a like, and yeah, see you guys next time. Peace.